Hello, I'd like to make something today for the upcoming Star Wars movie in December, and we will make cake Kylo Ren with cupcakes stormtroopers around. So for the Kylo Ren cake, we need first of all bake 3 cakes. For 2 cakes, we bake in a round baking pan, which is 16 centimeter in diameter. All inches and ounces and all other ingredients will be in description box. Please do have a look. So we need 2 cakes baked in round baking pan, 16 centimeter diameter, 15 or 16, this doesn't really matter, whatever you're able to find it, because sometimes measurements could be a little bit varied. And I use a simple chocolate cake, so I have 2 of those. And for top of cake, we're using a simple heat-proof glass bowl, a mixing bowl. And this one particular, it's a small, it's a 2 liter, it's about 20 centimeter in diameter here. And I use simply 1 butter cake mix. Of course, you can use any cake mixes of your choice. And when you're baking in a heat-proof glass bowl, just grease generously. Make sure it's actually pop up very well once it's baked. So once our cake are baked, they completely cool down, and we trim all 3 cakes. We're using serrated knife to level all 3 cakes so they are flat. Now we leave 2 cakes just as it is, but with our bowl cake, what we have to do is, as you can see, if we can place on top, it's actually kind of sticking out. So what we do, we just trim away this stick out part to make sure it's actually kind of this way, so it's actually top falls into second cake nicely and shape kind of like of a face. So let's trim it. Take a serrated knife and simply go around and trim the, which is more wider part, just slightly narrow down. Once you trim it, as you can see, that's what we got. We actually get rid of this widened part of a bowl, simply. So make sure just when you place the one of cakes, you place on top of it. You can see it's actually kind of top cake fall into same basically measurements as a second cake. So what we do is we take our cake board. I just taken a square one. It really doesn't matter which one you have, and we apply small amount of the chocolate frosting. I'm using basic classic chocolate frosting. You can use chocolate buttercream as well. What I want to say, so any cut outs like tops of your cakes, do not throw, because we actually place on top of a bowl cake to actually make hoodie of a Kylo Ren a little bit better and a little bit more realistic. So we place first cake right up here. Just make sure you're happy where it's locating. And what we do is we apply chocolate frosting on top of a first cake. Then we sandwich with a second cake, apply chocolate frosting again, and we sandwich with the top cake. Then once we sandwich last cake, we simply frost around. We apply frosting, just a thin layer of chocolate frosting. So once we join all 3 cakes together, 2 chocolate cakes on the bottom and a butter cake on top. As you can see, a bowl cake on top, so it's formed top of head. So we frost now all over. Now we wanted just a little bit add extra on top of actual head to build up, for make it more basically looking hoodie sort of more realistic. So from leftover of our trimmings, what we do is we just made it couple pieces. One of like a trapezoid sort of looking kind of piece, which is will be placed right here, and a little one placed behind it to actually follow the curve of the head. So apply frosting right on top. So once we shape it, as you can see, that's how it look like. Now I just bring up a little bit closer. You can see just a bit more rise. It just makes it easier for us in more realistic looking hoodie. So now what we do is we place a frosted cake into refrigerator or freezer for about 30 to 40 minutes to make sure all crumbs are set. By the time when our cake is resting in a refrigerator, we prepare mask. For the mask, a good idea to print it from internet, image of Kylo Ren mask. You just, whatever, basically how tall your cake, that's how basically you have to put in measurements into the computer to make sure it's printed in the right size. My particular is 18.5 centimeter tall. So you can use my measurements if you like to do so. I will place them in the description box, or you can use your own. So once we're done that, this is our template of Kylo Ren mask. So cut out simply, so which is we done it now. And also good idea to using something like a cotton or something, because next step is we need cut out the middle part of only just the black lines, black, even not completely, just to make sure we're able to see where is actual the design is going. You can use anything what in your home. You can use sharp knives or the just a small knife type, or like a craft equipment, and simply cut out. Reason is it's on the carton, it just makes it easier because it's a little bit softer. Cut out and take out these parts to make sure you're able to see it. We don't want cut out the silver parts, we just want cut out the just little black parts right here and on the middle between silver parts. It just makes it easier for us to actually make it mask. Once we cut out, that's how our mask is look like now. As you can see, we cut out all the little black parts. It just makes it easier for us. Just make sure when you're cutting, your actually main image is still there. It just makes it easier to transfer and actually trace it. If you're a little bit cut out in some parts, that's okay, because you're still able to see. So what we do is next we're using white, just a plain rolling, ready to roll icing or fondant, and we need to dust our working surface with powdered icing sugar to prevent sticking. And also, when you roll, need firstly your fondant to make sure it's nice and manageable. Once you roll out, a good idea to keep it nice and thick, because we just make sure that it makes it easier for us to transfer mask on top of cake. Do not make massively thick, but it just makes sure it's not thin. So once we're done this, take some sort of brush to just remove icing, powdered icing sugar from top. And what we do is we take our mask, place it right on top, just make sure position and everything as it's as we want to see. Good idea even just to pin in some areas, make sure image is stay straight, just using toothpicks simply. You can even pin it in the areas where you like to do various indentions on mask, because mask of Kylo Ren has like a sort of various indentions, like for example right here. So I place it one, just gives me guidance for later. So once we're done that, what we do is we use edible food decorating pen. This one particular Americolor brand, and when you buy one of those, they're fully edible, so which is cool. And another thing I saw is buy for the fondant, because some of them designed to write on the chocolate or candy melts, and they will not write on the fondant. So this one particular for the fondant. And what we do is we simply with the black edible decorating pen, we simply trace all the areas which is being cut out and which is being actually black color. So we trace them all just like this all around cake. Once you trace over all the details of a Kylo Ren mask, that's how it's look like now, basically on top of your fondant. So what we do is next, we simply cut out mask, and that's how our mask is done for now. So what we do is next, basically, we use the black food coloring. If you're able to get it liquid black food color, of course it's edible, please do use this one and apply with the small brush. Or if you have only available just a gel food coloring, like for example this one, this is a black gel food coloring, Americolor brand, you can get in a Wilton, quite good one as well. What you do is place small amount on a plate and dilute it with clear liquid like vodka. Vodka is a little bit better than water. You can use water as well, but if you're using clear alcohol, any clear alcohol, it would be great because it dries faster. So once you place on a plate, always place on a plate because you can control it better. Take just a small tiny type of a brush. You don't need that much at all. And started coloring the part which is need to be color in black. Everything else we will use silver dust, so only color which is areas where it need to be black. Once we color it, all areas need to be colored black. That's how it looks like now. Also use a variety of the brushes, smallest for smaller area, larger for larger areas. And now, once it's still a little bit wet, use a toothpick and make it indentions. Any indentions you like to make, do it now, because it's not set such as yet, and you're able kind of to get all these indentions done. So whatever, basically any kind, the on a mask various, and I think it's on top of mask as well, so we kind of create this one too. We can edit a little bit later, but for now it's good idea to do so. Transfer it while you actually, before you even coloring, you can place on piece of non-stick baking paper, makes it easier. And as you can see, this is how our mask is look like now. I just have a look, make sure you're actually able to see. Yeah, cool. Yeah, and and what we do is now we simply leave it for just a few minutes. Make sure actual black paint is slightly dry. Then we can use the rainbow silver dust to apply on all silver need to be colored area. Once a black coloring is slightly set, what we do is we use a small amount of white gel food coloring. This one particular is Wilton, but you can get in Americolor brand as well. It's nothing, just a white the gel food coloring, that's all. It's just like that. Place small amount, mix it with your black one to get various shades of gray. You can darker or lighter by mixing more of a white. So what you do is, once you mix it all this basically make it a gray coloring, simply start adding just a small amount, does not need much, just to outshadow the parts of mask anywhere where you like. More or less, it's all up to you. So basically, in whatever areas is left, you can place as much as you wanted of a gray coloring. Once it's done, I just show a little bit closer. As you can see, let's have a look. Yep. As you can see, that's how mask is look like now. Once it's slightly dry, again, just a little bit, give it time. You actually don't need that much. You can even have couple brushes and just carefully, sort of like drag them down from just a little bit, just like that. You only need outshadow. You not really even paint. So once you're done that, good idea to use something like silver Saturn. Basically, it's silver dust. It's an edible silver dust. Doesn't matter. You can get in this kind of container, or you can get even silver luster powder as well. This one particularly look like that. It's just like a little edible silver dust, and we actually don't need that much as well. Once a gray coloring slightly set, what we do is we just want to bring up a little bit shine to gray areas to make it a little bit more silverish. So what we do is simply we just apply on top of whatever left white or gray, basically, to making this area comes sort of together. They become more shiny and they look like actual silver. And apply as much as you wanted, and in mainly, of course, white and the gray areas, but in some areas of the mask of Kylo Ren, we can actually apply too, to making some of his indentions more visible. The next step is basically, as you can see, it looks really cool. So what we do is next step is to take our cake from a refrigerator, and what we do is we just apply chocolate frosting everywhere around cake to basically make it nice and straight, and we place mask on and we place a hoodie on. So as you can see, all these areas become nice and smooth. Once you apply chocolate frosting, what we do is I just have to make sure you're able to see. Yep. So we actually roll out a black color fondant on a working surface, dusted with powdered icing sugar. Do not worry if we have a bit dusting sugar all over the place. That's okay, because it just makes it easier to work with it. And what you do is with the hoodie, we actually do something interesting today. We're actually using simple, clean kitchen waffle towel, because as you can see, it's like little tiny square there. So we actually want to create type of squares. So what we do is simply we actually place towel and press it on to just create these indentions. Of course, you can use a special type of equipment if you have. It's sort of like a plastic sort of thing can be purchased. Here we are. It's not too bad. In some areas better than other, but it's quite cool. So what we do is now in front of our cake, we take mask and we place it. A bottom part goes right on the bottom. So we just right in the middle. Just nice and careful. Have too much dusted hands on me. Right like that. So that's done. And we just slightly, just make sure it falls into the actually shape of head. So once mask is there, what we do is we do next step, which is, so we just make it this area nice and straight and transfer kind of loosely, fold up to look like hoodie. Once you adjust all the fondant and smooth it, if you want for extra indentions, you can even place towel over and just carefully smooth around top of cake to make it more indentions. Now, next step is use any leftover fondant and I'll just place some, just make sure you see, place underneath of this hoodie ends to make sure they're nice and stable as well. Just take small amount and just place right under to make sure they actually not fall. You want them fall in a basically as it's look like hoodie. So for this little top here, what we do is we just make something like that, just from leftover of the black fondant. We make a triangle, squash it in. So what we do is just didn't place any water. Brush small amount of water and simply attach this one for the top of hoodie. Smooth it ends to make sure it falls into look like it's same as the hoodie. And if you want, what we do is we just can get extra shine with the our silver dust, just a little bit on top, on the sides, and anywhere where you like to have it. Also, if you want this part is being as it look like a stitch, just as what Kylo Ren has, you can use one of those tools for fondant or simply a pastry cutter. And what you do is just make indentation just on one side, the another, just a little bit. Just make sure it's look like just realistic look of Kylo Ren. Now we will make first order stormtroopers. For this we need just bake basic vanilla cupcakes. You can use even chocolate if you like it, it doesn't really matter. I use white paper liners, and then once they baked and cool down, frost them with a chocolate frosting on top. So once they're done, we do next step. We use white chocolate melts and dark chocolate melts, which is we melt it on top of saucepan with a simmering water. And yeah, this is just shows that this is a standard basically muffin tray we're using for making these cupcakes. So basically once our chocolates are melted, what we do is white one we place in piping bag fitted with number 3 tip, and a dark chocolate we place in a piping bag fitted with number 2 tip, because areas will be a little bit smaller to work with. And what we do is we have a template of the first order stormtroopers, just to place it on the carton or anything, whatever. Basically it's easier for you. You can even place it on a tray if you want it, if you have a nice large tray. And what we do is we secure with tape. It just makes it easier to work. And once we're done that, we just cut out just squares of non-stick baking paper. So we take one of squares, place it on top, and we start piping. Firstly, we're using a dark chocolate. Once you pipe it, use toothpick to adjust chocolate to make sure it looks neat. Fill up any gaps if you need to do so. Also, you can adjust the design as well as you go. And what we do is next, we have a tray, which is we take our non-stick baking paper, slide out on a tray, and make as many as you need to fill up to place on top of your cupcakes. Then once you've done them all, place in the refrigerator if you like to speed up process, or leave on a bench to set and harden. Then we simply place on top of prepared and frosted cupcakes. Once our chocolate stormtroopers are set, what we do is we use black edible decorating pen. This one particularly designed to write on chocolates and candy melts. Doesn't matter you have chocolate or candy melt. So they're fully edible. And what we do, we're using just a black one, and we simply add the extra design on the stormtrooper helmets. So we have 7 of little like a sort of things on the side, and as you can see, it's actually quite cool. So this is actually our topping for cupcakes of first order stormtroopers. We simply place on top of cupcakes and place around the cake Kylo Ren. Now we finish decorating cake Kylo Ren. As you can see, you can add as much shine as you wanted using silver dust or silver luster powder, or you can use a little bit of gray food coloring, which is we create using gel black and white gel food coloring. If you like to do so, it's up to you what makes easier for you. And I hope you like this sort of creation of the Kylo Ren. And for the first order stormtroopers, just place simply on top of vanilla basic cupcakes with chocolate frosting, and set on the side with Kylo Ren. I hope you like this sort of creation for the Star Wars theme. Everything will be in the description box. Any questions, please do write. Thank you very much for your time. Until next time, goodbye.